This is the first one. I don't know if the files are saving in order, so I'm going to say everything that I see. My name is Daniel Reyes. It's Wednesday, July 27th. The phone says 10:14 at night, and the camera says 4:03 in the morning, Thursday. I charged both of them before I came in, so I don't know. I'm using the phone time for now. I'm in the projection room above the cinema. The door locks. There's one stairwell, one door. I pushed a film can against it, so I'll hear it move, but I haven't found another way in yet. I came into the Hawthorne Mall about 4 this afternoon. This wasn't supposed to be an overnight thing. I parked on the service road behind the old Sears, walked around the fence where it had fallen, and went through loading dock 3. The personnel door had already been forced once, and the frame was bent around the latch, so I used my pry bar to hold it open, because I didn't trust the hinges. I took a picture of it, the door, the pry bar, and pay attention, it was day outside. That's important. The stockroom door looked normal. Empty shelving, broken hangers, bird crap under the vent. The fire map on the wall still had the Sears printed across most of the building. I followed the painted arrows to the sales floor. It was darker than it should have been. There are skylights all over that part of the store. I could see them from the roof last month when I came here to scout. From inside there weren't any, just ceiling tiles and dead fluorescent tubes. I should have turned around then. I didn't, because an old building being different from an old plan isn't exactly news. Renovations happen, roofs get covered, and I could still see the red exit sign over the stockroom door behind me. The main sales floor had been cleared except for maybe 20 clothing racks. They were all pushed into the center like a square. Somebody had needed the floor space around them. No clothes, no mannequins, just hangers. The escalator down to the mall was running. Nothing else had power, though. Not the lights, not the emergency strips, not the sign over the register, but the escalator was moving, and I could hear music from the concourse below. Very low. I thought there might be security somewhere, so I turned on the camera and started down. About halfway down, my sense of unease won out against my desire not to be seen, and I just yelled out, "Anyone here?" The escalator stopped before I finished the word "here." Not slowed down, it stopped hard. I nearly went over the rail. Then something knocked once beneath my feet. Maybe it was the brake. That's the best explanation I have. The motor locked and something shifted from inside the housing. I stepped down one stair and it knocked again, so I stopped moving. I stayed there I counted to 10. At 10, the escalator started again. Same speed as before. The music came back at the same time. I hadn't noticed it even stopped. I rode the rest of the way without talking. The concourse opened into the food court. 6 counters, all shuttered. Tables and chairs still out. The fountain was dry, but the lights over it were on. Half the ceiling past the fountain disappeared into darkness. There was a vending machine beside the cinema entrance. It looked like it had power. It took my $1 and gave me a bottle of water. Then it gave me 2 more. I left them in the machine for a while before I even touched them. But then I picked one up. The seal looked okay, and the date was a little old, but I drank part of it 3 hours ago and I still feel fine. I found a paper directory in the plastic holder beside the cinema. It showed the Sears, the food court, the cinema, the 2 main entrances, east and west. That's all. I tried the west entrance first. The corridor should be maybe 100 yards from the fountain. It couldn't be more. I walked for 20 minutes. The same stores repeated, but not in the same order. A shoe store, a jewelry store, a place that sold luggage. Then the shoe store again. same cracked letter in the sign, same single red shoe in the window. I turned back and I reached the food court in less than a minute. That's when I decided to go back through Sears. Maybe the concourse was confusing, looped somehow. Maybe I was just tired. But when I got back, the escalator going up was still running. I tested it. I knew that was stupid, but I needed to know if the first stop was mechanical. I stepped on, waited until I was a couple steps up, and then said the word, test. It stopped. I didn't move, I didn't say anything else, and after a few seconds it started moving again. So it looks like that's a rule of this place. Don't talk on the escalator. If one stops, stay still and wait. Of course, I haven't tried just walking, but I have a feeling I shouldn't. The Sears looked the same when I came back through. The racks were still in a square. The stockroom door was where it had been. I could see the pry bar on the floor through the open doorway. I could also see the fountain. Loading dock 3 was open, the same gray door, the same bent frame, my red pry bar exactly where I'd left it, but the outside was not on the other side. It was the food court, not a picture of it. The actual food court. I put my hand through, I stepped through, and I came out beside the sandwich counter, facing the fountain. Then I went back through the door and I was in Sears stockroom. I did it 3 times, stockroom to food court to stockroom. The service road was gone. Those doors still had rainwater on the outside face. I touched it. It smelled like wet pavement. There were droplets on the metal, but the view through the doorway is tile and fluorescent light. I left the pry bar where it was. I don't know why. I think I just wanted one thing to stay in the same place. The lobby was wrecked, but the projection room door worked, and this is the only room I found that I could lock. I have 3 bottles of water, 1 flashlight, a spare battery for my camera, my phone and the directory. No food except a protein bar I ate before I came in. The phone has no service. Emergency calls don't connect. The flashlight is around 70%, and the phone is at 38%. I'm going to turn everything off for a few hours and try to sleep. Wait. That's the first sound I've heard since I've come up here. It says the mall is closed. Wait, hold on. It says, Daniel Reyes, your party is waiting at entrance 3. There's no entrance 3 on this map. I didn't tell anyone I was coming. I'm not answering it. I'm turning the camera off now.